Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. We're in the kitchen again today. So if you saw my most recent video in this series, we're now calling this series Kaitlyn's Shortcut Kitchen because that's what we're all about. Whenever I make anything, I try and make it as fast as possible and with as many cheats as possible. So tonight we are going to make Italian subs, similar to like the Subway BMT or the Big Meat Trio. And so the first step is I bought these deli buns, which these ones came from Kroger, but as you guys know, we typically shop at Aldi. And so I did go ahead and cut the buns in half. And what we're going to do is we're going to just do like a squirt of this zesty Italian dressing, which happens to come from Walmart. But again, you can get it at Aldi, you can get it at Kroger, wherever you do your grocery shopping. Zesty Italian. We're going to just squirt a little bit on each bun, the bottom and the top. And then I'm going to use some of this Italian herbs grinder on top of on the top bun. So we're going to have a nice dressing, and then we're going to have the seasonings. And then we're actually going to, the oven is on right now because we're also going to be making some loaded waffle fries, which we'll talk about these a little bit more once we get everything situated. But so what we did was we are preheating the oven to 450 because that's what these Ore-Ida fries go on. And we're just going to pop these buns into the oven for like 3 minutes, not even, like a minute, 2 minutes max, just to get them like a little bit brown. But you have to be really, really careful about your buns. Definitely put them on the lower rack of your oven because they will burn like really quick, and we don't even have the meat on them yet. So again, we're just putting them in there just to get them kind of warm and a little bit like brown. And that was hubby's request. I probably would have skipped this step, but I've done it before, so we'll do it again. And then, like I said, we're preheating to 450 for these fries. So let's go ahead and prep our buns first, and then we will talk about what we're going to do with the fries. And we're all about easy cleanup as well. So we did put a piece of aluminum foil on our baking sheet, which does help. One, it helps toast the buns, but also two, it makes it to where all you have to do is peel the foil off, and it's really nice. So literally just one squirt on each bun so you guys can see that. And then you can use a knife or a spoon, a spatula. And I just spread that across. Again, we're not dousing the bun. We're just giving it like a little bit of flavor. And obviously once the sandwiches are done, you can put as much or as little dressing on them as you want. Now, another thing that I want to make sure that everybody realizes is this is 4 buns broken apart. So once we put the buns back together to actually make the sandwiches, then you'll obviously have more room on your baking sheet. Now, if you are a larger family and you need more servings, what I have done in the past is I have went ahead and made I've gotten these ones ready. I've put these in, toasted them, and then I have just like served these 4 sandwiches and then had another set ready to go in once these ones came off. So you can do that. You can do 2 pans at a time. You don't have to toast your buns. You can just put them in there and let them get toasted when you put the meat and the cheese on. Whatever, totally fine. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, and the oven is still prepping to 350. I'm going to put these buns in right now. It is at 370. And we're just going to let those, like I said, we're going to leave them in there for 1, maybe 2 minutes. And while those are in there, I'm going to get a second baking sheet out, put foil on it, and we're going to line that with a layer of fries. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. So we're using a smaller one. And this is a little bit of a hack that I kind of stole from my sister. So she or her husband made sheet pan nachos one time, and they did this. They put the foil on the sheet pan, and it gave me the idea to try it with fries. And we made crinkle cut fries a few weeks ago, and so now I'm going to show you guys what I did to make the waffle fries. So again, line your sheet with foil. Those have been in there like 1 minute. We're just trying to get them like warm to give them a little bit of like a toasty crunch. Oop. Always check to make sure that the bag does not have a pre-thing. Okay, so we're just gonna pour these out, and we're going to, you need a single layer. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, so we're making a single layer with the fries. And now for loaded fries, I typically just do cheese and bacon. Tonight we're going to try something a little bit different. We're actually going to put a little bit of like a stadium cheese or like a queso cheese on them because I have a little bit left of that in the fridge. And I'm hoping that it gives like kind of the Roosters like dumpster fries thing. You know what I'm talking about? And then we're also going to do shredded cheese and bacon. Okay, so here's that. And that was roughly a half a bag. So we still have half a bag left. So we got 2 meals out of this for the 2 of us. And these were $4.49 at Kroger. Now, they are Ore-Ida, but I just looked at whatever one. I almost just bought the Arby's ones because they were only 50 cents more. So I just buy whatever's on sale. And these happen to be the cheapest today, even over the Kroger brand. Okay, let's check on our buns again. Ooh. Okay, our oven is at 415 now, so it's steadily getting hotter. And this video might be done in one take because actually, most of the prep, there aren't very many steps to this. There's an extra step today because we are toasting the buns before. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but these are just the slightest bit crispy, and that's perfect. That's what we want. So now, let's talk about the assembly of the sandwiches. So I got this deli sliced hot ham trio from Aldi, and you can buy this at Kroger as well, but you can see it comes with hot ham, pepperoni, and provolone cheese, all in individual vacuum sealed bags for easy storage. And it gives you each individual serving size. The hot ham has 60 calories per 2 slices. Pepperoni is 90 calories per 2 slices, and the cheese is 60 calories per 1 slice. And I know some of you might be watching this video thinking, oh my gosh, she's eating deli meat. They have actually come out now and not come out, but in recent years, even if you are pregnant, as long as you're heating your deli meat up, it's considered pretty safe, even hot dogs. And I have ate deli meat a lot during this pregnancy. And as of this point, we're 25 weeks and everything is going swimmingly. And I have not even heated it up every single time. Now, some things I do, like hot dogs, obviously I do. But, so yeah, real food is always best. And just, practice food safety. So don't eat things that have been sitting out for a while. If you're getting them out of the fridge, eat them right away. Don't, if you're at a cookout or whatever, don't eat things that have been sitting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up these, and we're going to see just how many sandwiches we can get out of this pack. Now, again, I did prep 4 buns. And this is supposed to be the hot ham. And our oven is actually ready for the fries. So we're going to pop those in. And the bag says to put them in for 17 to 20 minutes. 12 to 20 minutes, excuse me. We're going to go about 15, and then we'll put our toppings on, and we'll do the last 5 minutes with the toppings. So we're going to go ahead and put those in, and I did put the fries on the top rack, because again, we're going to want our subs to go on the bottom so they don't burn. Sometimes these vacuum seal packs are nice, but they can be kind of a pain to get open. But yeah, so again, we're going Shortcut Kitchen here. Is this as fresh as freshly sliced ham and salami and pepperoni? Maybe not, but it wasn't a vacuum seal pack, so it's still pretty fresh, and it's already pre-sliced for you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to assemble this. Now, some people will do whole ham, like whole slices. I tend to fold them, and I tend to try and put my meat on the bottom bun. And we're just going to do about 3 slices of ham, 2 to 3 slices of pepperoni, and then 2-ish slices of cheese on each sandwich. I'm just double checking my date. Again, food safety. Ooh. Okay, 10:05 or 10:15. So we're still good, but definitely had a lot of liquid in there. But again, just practice your food safety. If it doesn't look right or smell right, don't eat it, and come up with something else. Okay, I will show you guys what it looks like after I get... But I just kind of fold the pieces in half. You'll be able to see when I get to this one. And I just kind of layer them over each other. Again, we're trying to make 4 sandwiches out of this. Hubby usually eats 2, depending on how hungry I am. I eat 1, maybe 2. Okay, that would be, sure, this one. And honestly, it doesn't really matter what your top and your bottom bun is. And I apologize that you guys can't really see the top of my face or the top of my head. I don't really have a good setup in the kitchen yet, so I need to work on like finding a way to display my camera more and in a better place where you guys can see it. Okay, this is going to be almost perfect. And I'm that person, like if I have like 1 slice left, we're just going to throw it on one of the sandwiches. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Oh no, we're going to have just enough. Okay. All right. So we got our ham. This is a little hot. Okay. And now we're going to do the same thing with the pepperoni. And I did make a mess with the ham, so we're actually going to move that. Okay. Same thing with the pepperoni. I am going to pause to open up the pepperoni, and then we'll be back. All right, so we've got our pepperoni. I usually do 3 slices of this as well. If you bought the bigger buns or you're making footlongs, then obviously you would do more, but literally put it right on top of the ham. Just overlap it a little bit. And again, when you're handling meat, always make sure you wash your hands before. And if you're going to be going between like meat and different things, so like when I was doing the fries, or when I'm going to be putting toppings on the fries, like I'll be sure to wash my hands since I just had this meat. Again, just food safety. Okay, so we've got 3 slices of pepperoni on each sandwich. You guys can probably see that. And we still have a really decent amount of pepperoni left. So we're going to want to wrap this up, plastic wrap, foil, whatever, and put it in a bag to enjoy another time. It would go really nicely with like crackers and the cheese, because we're probably going to have some cheese left for charcuterie or something. Okay, so now we just have to do the cheese. I'm picky about cheese. I don't love a lot of cheese, so I typically will do like 2 with 2 full slices of cheese, and then 2 with like half the cheese, and then those ones are the ones that I eat just because I'm picky about cheese. But like I was saying, I got this at Aldi, but Kroger has the exact same thing in their deli section, and you can make like roll-ups, like Italian roll-ups with pepperoni and cheese and ham that are pretty good. We've had those before also. And this cheese is actually a little bit too big for the buns. So what's happening is I am just breaking it up into half slices, and then we're putting it like 3. So each sandwich is getting 1.5 pieces of cheese, essentially. But again, if you like cheese or you have bigger buns, then you could obviously put more on. And for those of you critiquing me because I didn't wash my hands after sneezing, I did not touch my nose or my face, and I sneezed away. And I'm the only one in the kitchen. So I don't even know why my nose is running, to be honest. Okay. On our last one here. All right. And also, none of y'all are eating my food, so it's fine. We have about 4 to 5 slices left of the cheese, and that got us 4 sandwiches. So again, we're going to want to wrap that up and save it. And like I said, if you've got some tortillas, you can make like an Italian pinwheel or an Italian roll-up, which also is very good. Okay, now what we're going to do, because I realized I forgot a step when I prepped the buns, is I didn't put my herbs on. So we're going to just do a little bit more dressing on each bun, each top bun, and then we're going to put the herb seasoning on it. And then we're going to go ahead and put these sandwiches together and get them ready for the oven. And again, when they go in the oven, you don't need a lot of time. So what we're actually going to do is I'm going to build these. The fries are going to come out in 6 minutes, and we're going to do the toppings of those. And then I'm going to put the sandwiches and the fries with the toppings back in at the same time. And so far, we are about 15 minutes into this, 15 to 20 minutes into this meal. So this one is going to be a quick one. And it is a great, like, weeknight meal. Like I said, if you are new here, new to the channel, new to this series, we are trying to eat out less for multiple reasons. We're trying to eat what we have because we have a lot of groceries. We're trying to eat what we have and eat out less, spend less money on groceries. And eat a little bit healthier and just establish routines of like coming home from work, cooking, etc., and establishing some of that work-life balance. Okay, while we wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and clean up, wrap these things up, clean up the ham juice that's spilled, and then I will go ahead and show you guys what these look like. We are ready for the oven. So we're going to go in the oven in about 5 minutes or so. All right, so the fries are getting ready to come out. I'm going to show you guys the toppings that we're going to try today. I have like a little bit left of this Tostitos Queso Blanco. We're going to drizzle some of that on because, again, I'm going for like a Rooster's dumpster fries deal. We're going to use that the same cheese that I've been using for all my recipes this week, a mild cheddar shredded. We're going to put some of that on, and we're going to do some fresh bacon bits. We're also going to do salt and pepper. We're going to be a little bit generous with those because sometimes they just need a little bit more. And sometimes I've seen people recommend that you put oil of some kind on the fries. That's what we're going to try and use the melty cheese is what I call it for. Okay, here's our fries. They're still a little limp in my opinion. But I think they could be, like you could eat them now as they are. But we are going to just put these in for just a few more minutes. I like my fries really, really, really crispy. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with the salt and pepper. That way the salt kind of can stick to the natural oils. Just pinch, whatever. Like I said, I feel like we're going to be pretty generous with the salt and pepper just because we want them, they're loaded, so we want them to have that loaded flavor. And yes, I am a hooligan, and this is how I get my pepper out because a lot of the time it just feels quicker and I can I feel like control it a little bit more. All right, now we're going to try this cheese. And this is going on cold, but I'm hoping that the 5 minutes that it's in there will be enough to kind of melt it. So we're just going to attempt to drizzle this on. It is not going to be pretty. And honestly, when it warms up, it'll get a little bit thinner. Again, we're just using what we have in our cupboards, in our fridge. Eating, maybe some similar things, but in a different way. Especially if you have picky eaters and you want to get them to try some new things. Maybe you have the toppings for the loaded fries in some bowls, or, you put them on the side and encourage them to dip their fries into the queso, or, add some cheese or even some ranch, because when we're done, we're going to dip these bad boys in ranch. And look at that. We are done. So I'm leaving, there are some that will have a lot of the melty cheese, and then there are some that don't have as much, but we did use the rest of that jar. And then we're going to put our cheddar cheese. This we're going to be, pretty generous, I guess you could say. We're just going to spread that all around, and I will show you guys. And you've noticed there are hardly ever a measurement here on the channel. I just kind of eyeball it to what looks good. And then same with the bacon bits. And I tend to put more bacon bits than cheese. And again, this is intended for me and my husband to kind of pick on together. And when we eat it, we actually eat it right off the sheet pan with our fork. So I just put a little bit of dressing on my plate, eat it, and then I can dip. But obviously this could easily be divided up for 4 people, 3 to 4 people. We just kind of eat what we want. It's just easier to make it all in one pan. And here's what it looks like when it's going back in. And again, we're just going to go for 3-ish minutes. And we're just going to keep an eye on it because we just want that cheddar cheese to be melty. And our subs are going in on the bottom rack. We're just going to kind of keep an eye on them as well. Wait for those buns to get nice and golden brown. And yeah, so I'll show you guys what the end result is here in about 3 minutes or so. We are at about just under 30 minutes right now, and we only have about 3 minutes left. Some of you have been interested in my dessert fascination, because lately I've been trying to like come up with a dessert for every meal. I do try and have some sort of a vegetable involved in all the meals. This one's lacking a little bit. We have the potato, but that doesn't really count. So our dessert is actually incorporating our fruit and vegetable for this meal. And I'm going to be making my own like caramel apple dessert board, which I will have a separate video of how I assemble all of that and what we're going to put on it. But we have a ton of apples, like 2 whole bags of apples that we're trying to use. And so I thought I'll just slice them up. We'll put like some caramel dip. I have like a couple different caramel dips, and then we might melt like some peanut butter and just do like DIY caramel apples. So you get your slice and you dip it, and then you have different toppings. So I'll do a separate video on that, but that's our dessert for this meal. Very fall, very easy, and it has that fruit component. We're going to have some chopped nuts in there. Again, the peanut butter, you can make that kind of as healthy as you want. You can do pretzels, chocolate chips. Like, we're just going to have a smattering of different things, but it's going to help us use those apples and get our fruit and vegetable for this meal. And obviously, you could serve a salad with the subs. You could put lettuce on the subs. It's hard to bake the lettuce, but since we have those buns separated, you could just throw some lettuce on after it's done. That's an option as well. Tomatoes, onions, etc., etc. So the alternative option would be, instead of assembling the subs to bake them, you just bake the bottom, toast the bun, bake with just the meat and the cheese, and then take it out, put your toppings on, and then put the top bun and bake it for like the 2 to 3 minutes. So that would be the alternative if you wanted to add some more veggies, or like I said, just serve it with a salad, which I have done before as well. But I was just really in the mood for some loaded fries. And again, like pregnancy, call it a craving, call it just trying to be, I'm hungry, so this is just what sounds good. But yeah, we're going to check in on our fries and our subs in about 1 minute. Okay, let's see what we've got. Put our hot pads back out so we can set the sheet pans right on the counter. We're going to check on the subs first because the oven is really hot. Okay, we're looking for melty cheese. The buns are really hot. Honestly, I think it could go either way. Some people might say they're done. Some people might want to put them in for another minute or so because some of our cheese isn't fully melted, but it's getting there. But our fries, on the other hand, look amazing and they smell great. So I think we're just going to go ahead and say that everything's done. If you wanted more meltier cheese, obviously that's a personal preference. But we're going to serve these up and enjoy our meal. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me in the kitchen today. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I hope you're learning a little something. I hope that you are encouraged to try some of these recipes at home and cook for your family. And I hope you guys stick around. Let me know if you have any shortcut recipes that I should try. I've been finding a lot on Pinterest, so that's where I'm getting a lot of my ideas. Or I've seen other people do them, or I'm just trying things on my own, like the Italian sub kit. I just found that at Aldi and decided to give it a try. And this is not the first time that we've made these. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Recommendations for this: if you're going to eat at a dining table, put the fries in the middle with your sauces. Typically, we like to eat in the living room a lot, which I know is not ideal, but we put the pan of fries just on a TV tray, and then we can kind of both munch, so it's great. But thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for my DIY caramel apple board. That's going to be in a separate video, so make sure you go check that out, and I will see you guys next time in the next episode of Shortcut Kitchen. Bye-bye.